Ladies and gentlemen, people and persons, this is your 30-minute end of pop culture as you know it. I'm your co-host, Gnarly Quinn, joined by the main man, Matthias, and we would like to welcome you to your weekly pop culture apocalypse. Matthias, you had a
Mm.
very interesting episode for me today. What do you have?
Yeah, so I know how much I like talking about Batman. I mean, it never really will get old. I know between the two of us, you are more the DC nut, but I
Absolutely.
appreciate probably one of the greatest heroes of all time.
You can't
I'm
not.
not gonna, I can't, I'm not gonna argue with that because I'm just gonna lose. So, I mean, it's not just honestly, it's not just his rogues gallery. It's just his mythology behind him is just, I think it's unmatched. I really can't think of any hero. Probably maybe the running up to is probably Superman and Spider-Man, but even then,
Oh,
I don't
absolutely.
respectfully, I don't think even those two don't hold a candle to him.
Well, geez, I mean, Batman was created, what, if I remember correctly, back in the 60s? 60s, 50s, and
I think
even to this day, everyone knows his name.
I think it was 41. I think was the first.
You might be right. I'm
Well,
terrible with
anyway,
dates, so I apologize
no,
about
but
that.
but but it's old. He's like it's going on 100 years. Going on 100 years of this guy, and it hasn't slowed down yet.
Yeah,
But no,
reaching the timeless.
yeah, really. Yeah, we'll talk about. So, I've seen other people tackle this. Figure you and I could give our 2 cents because what we're doing, there's no right or wrong answers. It's gonna be. I think it'll be fun. It's gonna be. What if Batman had his own Sinister Six, the infamous team up of villains that Spider-Man has? What would happen if a team like that from Batman's universe did the same thing? I figure there's no right or wrong answers. I mean, I'm sure you have your list and I have mine, and it's probably gonna be completely different, but I think it'll be kind of fun.
I don't know
Um,
about you, but I kind of went outside the box on this one a little bit. I thought it would just be fun to kind of throw in a little bit more what if, only because some of the characters that I thought of, one, I think they would work fairly well together, and two, I just thought it was fun because if these characters actually did exist in, like, say, current timeline of Gotham,
yeah,
that would be absolutely epic.
yeah. I worked on my list here probably since Friday,
Yes,
off and
it's
on, and then yesterday I kind of cemented my list. Well, by all means, kid, go ahead and kick us off. Like I
all
said, there's no
right.
right or wrong answers. There isn't. It's just
Yeah.
it's like a what if.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. What if Batman had the Sinister Six? So I'm going to start off. I'm going to do the order that I'm going to do this in is I'm going to say the last one is kind of like the leader, especially after reading the comic that I had read and basing everything off of that. But the first character that I would choose would be Clayface. Obviously, having a shapeshifter and having somebody that could shift forms would be absolutely important for this team just because it would be really really useful. And then one storyline that I read, it was Batman White Knight. The Joker was reformed, and in order to get everybody to turn on Gotham, he needed all of his old villains that he used to work with and against on his side a little bit, just to kind of make Batman look bad and to cement his willingness to put Batman behind bars. So what he did was he took Clayface and he split him up into pieces and he actually fed them. He fed Clayface to all of the villains that he gathered together, and so he could control them because it instead of controlling everybody individually, he controlled them all through Clayface. And I thought that was a really cool concept because the character that I chose to be the leader would probably do this ruthlessly too. It was just insane. Then my number two would be Talon, just because he is such a great soldier. If you get him on your side at all, he will do exactly what he is told, hands down. And he's a fairly formidable foe for Batman. And if not, he will keep him busy. He'll keep him busy long enough for you to do what you need to do. Kind of make him watch one hand while you slap him with the other hand a little bit. And then My number 3 would be the Penguin, just because of the Penguin's notoriety throughout Gotham. He has the gang to keep Batman busy, and honestly, even the Bat family. He's got enough henchmen to keep them busy and to be useful in whatever scheme that you need. And he's also got a lot of the cops on the payroll. So he can make everybody kind of look the other way. He can make enough people look the other way if he needs to. Number 4 I thought would be interesting was Hush. I really enjoyed that storyline. I enjoyed everything that was in it, and I thought it would be a very useful character in what was going on, only because Hush had modeled himself after Bruce Wayne directly, just because of his hatred for him whenever they were kids, for some odd reason. I don't know. It was kind of the reasoning behind it was a little weird to me, but it made sense. But I think having that knowledge of not just Batman, but Bruce Wayne in general too, having that knowledge would be absolutely important for a team. Mm-hmm. So my number 1, again, I went pretty crazy with this one. I thought kind of the leader and the person who would cause the most chaos. Obviously, I should have went with, I guess you could do some honorable mentions. I should have went with somebody like, the Joker, Harvey Dent, Poison Ivy, some of the big ones. But I thought it would be fun to have the Batman Who Laughs kind of as the ringleader, as like the central person of this, because oh my god, after reading that storyline, I know there's a lot and it's kind of more so interdimensional, but still, I thought that would be an epic team. I thought that would be really, really hard to beat and would make some really good storylines as well.
Mm-hmm. Who'd you had Penguin, Clayface, Talon, Hush, Batman Who Laughs. Who's your other one?
Oh, Bane. Sorry, I almost forgot about Bane.
No, it's okay.
One of Batman's oldest foes. And obviously very formidable character, the man who broke the bat. So yeah, having some muscle on there would help. Yeah, literally.
That's honestly, you know what? If I could step in, that's a pretty good list. I hate to admit it, but you might know a little bit more about this guy than I do. But that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's okay. There's no competition.
Oh yeah,
I get my ass kicked.
I just went through and
But
no, I was having fun with this. I was having a little bit too much fun, and I was also trying to think of like central characters that would work well together. I think adding the Joker in, that could have created some problems with the team that I had picked, only because I think some power shifting would have came into play a little bit. So I think all of the people that I had listed, obviously before the Batman Who Laughs, there might have been some problems, but if the Batman Who Laughs plays his cards right, he could keep them under his thumb for a very long time, and he could use them for a very long time.
Right. Now, you said that Clayface story you just told, I never knew about that story. That is pretty freaking mental. Like, of course, was that Joker that did that?
If you get a chance, so it was in Batman, the White Knight. So not to spoil anything too much, but basically in the White Knight, Joker ends up fighting the Batman to the point where he finds a bottle of pills, and I'll try to make this, condensed, but Batman was fighting the Joker, causing a gigantic ruckus throughout the city with the Joker's help, obviously. And the Joker has pills on him, and the Joker pushes Batman almost to the edge and forces the Joker to take all of these pills and basically puts him in a coma. So when he wakes up from this coma, his demeanor is completely changed. So instead of being the bad guy, he flips and he starts to be the good guy a little bit. And he realizes, like, wow, all this damage that Batman has caused, he flips it on Batman. So, like, his greatest enemy is still his greatest enemy, but instead of, like, killing people, causing chaos, he wants to take Batman down through every legal means necessary. So he starts building a case, and his IQ goes through the roof. So he starts building a case on Batman and basically puts Batman behind bars. And yeah, that's that's how he starts to do it. That was kind of like the big plan. And even Harley Quinn comes in. There was 2 Harley Quinns that came into play, which I thought was pretty interesting. But yeah, if you get the chance to read it, I I do recommend that storyline. It's pretty cool. I like that version. It was different for me. It really was.
I'll have to check that out. Good. I tell you what, I I don't know like that much about Talon, but I know the Court of Owls is a freaking sick story.
Yes.
And
Yeah, and I know
kudos
there
to
was a
you
lot
for
of different versions of Talon too, so.
no, I'm just saying kudos to you for picking Hush. Hush is I feel he's a very, very, very underrated villain. I do.
I agree. I agree. After reading that storyline, I thought that was very interesting. It definitely kept me interested the whole way through. I liked it a lot.
Huh. Good list. Who did you say your honorable mentions were?
People like Harvey Dent, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, Mr. Freeze would be another one. Yeah, some of the reoccurring big name top villains, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Mr.
Yeah.
Freeze has the technology for sure, so that would be one. But I think for this list, I'm pretty solid in my choices.
So if I could go here, that's an awesome list.
Mm-hmm.
I especially like Talon and Hush. That's pretty good.
Went out of the box a little
So,
bit.
that's okay because I kind of did the same thing. So with the list I had, I went back and I didn't want to copy and paste like Spider-Man Sinister 6, but I did go back to see like the original members of the Sinister
Yeah,
6 that he had in the comics. And he had
which is smart. Compare and contrast.
yeah, I mean, well, he had according to this, the first Sinister Six comprised of his Doc Ock was kind of like the leader, and then they had Craven, which he's probably my top two favorite Spider-Man villains. Mysterio, Vulture, Sandman, and Electro. According to this, they were the first members of the Sinister Six, which I do not know that because I thought I thought Shocker was one of the original members instead of Electro. I got confuzzled.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're good.
But when I went to that list, I looked at it and compare and contrast. So my first pick, funny enough, because you just mentioned him, was Mr. Free. Well, let me say this real quick. So I had a thought here, and I said, let me at least take down these four guys, because in my opinion, these four probably wouldn't work in the Sinister Six. And I chose Penguin, Two-Face, Riddler, and Joker, because I feel like
Ooh.
yeah, the reason I said that is because well, for Two-Face, this is Sinister 6, not Sinister 7. So that wouldn't really work out too well. Penguin, I feel he's kind of an a-hole. Riddler, he might have a big head, but it's not big enough to have for other people on his team. And then Joker, I don't really need to explain. That's just my opinion. Of why that wouldn't work. But on my list, so you just mentioned Mr. Freeze. I do have Mr. Freeze on there because I feel I want to say he's almost like Doc Ock, but in terms of like IQ, I feel he's kind of in that realm of genius that he could probably pull off somewhat of a leadership thing. And then yeah. And then, like I said, you had Clayface. I put Clayface as well because I feel like, kind of like how Mysterio is for Spider-Man. I feel Clayface could kind of do the whole illusion, getting people, catching them off his toes.
Absolutely.
Actually, here's one out of left field. Firefly.
I had a really tough time not to put Firefly on my list. I absolutely agree with you.
Firefly was one. I did pick Poison Ivy. I tried to pick like
Oh, of
around
course, you gotta pick Poison
like
Ivy.
yeah, I picked a kind of a well-rounded team, I feel. And then Scarecrow. I feel Scarecrow would probably do some damage. And then here's one that
Absolutely.
Here's one that I feel doesn't get mentioned enough is the Man-Bat.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And then I did honorable mention, I did have Bane, but I feel like that freaking monster doesn't need any help because he can do a lot of damage by himself. Um, I did pick him. Like I said, Mr. Freeze would kind of have the leadership thing going on. And then I said, since he's ice, I threw Firefly in there for fire and ice. Uh,
The
and then
yin and the yang a little
Clayface.
bit. I like it.
Clayface could I don't want to say he's a wild card, but he could do the whole illusion. And then Scarecrow. Like I don't want to say he's underrated, but I feel him and Clayface could probably mess with Batman somehow, working together. And then, like I said, Poison Ivy. I felt I should get a girl in there to do some damage. Uh,
Not to mention
but
a
the one,
very bright
the one
scientist.
yeah, and then the one I felt was, like I said, out of left field, besides Firefly, was Man-Bat, just for, like, pure muscle in the sky. Like,
Yeah.
I feel this team could mess him up, like just any which way. Like, he
Yeah, you
might,
got air superiority, you have plant superiority, you have like mind superiority, you also have like technological superiority as well.
it's like the four elements coming at him, and I'm not kidding. I
No,
just
you're
now
right.
realized that. I just now
Yeah.
realized that. Huh.
Yeah,
Mr.
you got
Freeze,
earth,
Firefly,
fire, water,
yeah, and then Poison Ivy, Earth, and then Man-Bat with,
air.
air. And then Scarecrow just to throw a loop there. I mean,
Just
like I
throw the
said, I
loop.
could have picked. I try to keep this simplified, like not dwell on it. But I feel
No, I
like I said,
think
I feel that
that's
team's
a
pretty.
absolutely. That is a very good list, and especially on a day-to-day basis. Imagine just
Yeah,
having those guys just chilling around Gotham, just cause,
yeah,
and like they got their own little headquarters or their secret lair, and that would be
yeah.
horrible. That would just make Gotham so much worse. It really would.
And then there's other villains that I don't know very well. It's sad to say that, but I don't really know. Like, there one guy called the Moth guy. Moth, something Moth. What the hell's his name?
Oh, I just saw him when I was going through because
Yeah,
I didn't know a whole lot about him either, but I
like
do know that he was there. Absolutely.
I apologize to anyone listening who's a Batman fanatic. I don't mean to sound that degrading and disrespectful. I don't know, like every villain. I mean, another runner up, two runner ups, and you're gonna laugh at this. Condiment King and the Calendar Man.
Oh, dude.
uh,
I was gonna throw them in there just cause you can't not. I was also gonna throw like Clock King or something in there
Clock
with
King,
those
yes,
three, just cause.
yeah,
Yeah, that would have been funny. I think
they're
the
the
one
B team.
person,
Yeah,
dude, they are, they are.
the B team.
They're like the comical B team where they're like, dude. But I mean, they are pretty. They're mischievous. I think in terms of like the level that we were talking about, they're very
Yeah.
mischievous.
Well, I tell you what, they're hardcore Golden Age villains right there. You can't get much
Mm-hmm.
Golden Age than that. It's really Saturday morning cartoon tomfoolery. Do you want them you want a three-dimensional villain? I don't know if they can pull it off,
Those three are it.
but no,
I
but no,
think.
all seriousness, you can't really go wrong.
Oh
And
no,
I
not at
was
all.
also thinking about this list, thinking, well, as much as Batman has things under control, he probably would, if he was smart, he'd bring back up like Nightwing, Robin, and Catwoman. Yeah, let me try that again. Batgirl.
I mean,
Uh,
he is known to work with Catwoman every now and again. So I mean, I think if they were hard enough, he might call her and be like, "Hey, I need your help."
I see her more of an anti-hero than anything.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
do.
Yes.
I do.
Yeah, and that's why
Um,
I was saying, like, yeah, she'd probably do it for her own interest, absolutely.
oh
She'd
yeah,
steal
like,
something in the process or,
oh yeah, you want to
find
talk about
something to ruin in the process.
you want to talk about unpredictable. That girl's it right there. I could probably get more elaborate on this list, but like I said, I feel that team could probably do some damage. And your list, I really like how you picked Hush, very underrated villain, and Talon. That's good. I like how
Yeah,
you
I
both
just
picked
like the sheer
Clayface.
aspect.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
good old classic. And also just super useful, just as a shapeshifter in general, just super useful. I think the
Yeah.
one person that I probably should have put on there, especially since I mentioned the White Knight, is the Mad Hatter. Only because that's how they controlled everybody. You know, they fed everybody to Clayface, but the Mad Hatter used his spells to control Clayface. So yeah, I guess if I
Yeah.
wanted that to work, but still, that would
You
have been
want
an
to know
interesting one. Honorable mention.
another villain who I think is very nuts, and I mean that is, are you familiar with Professor Pig,
Oh yeah.
the leader of the Circus of Strange? That
Yes.
guy has a few a few screws loose.
I
Now we'll go with the first one,
agree.
screw
These
looses,
screw
because it
looses.
just fits better.
It fits. It fits. That or Dollmaker. That was a bit
Oh my
messed
god!
up. Yeah.
Like I said, before we wrap this up here, there's really no wrong or right way to make this list, but I feel like I know it'll probably never happen, but it's a cool list. I mean, I've seen other people do it on YouTube and stuff, but I figure do our own. Like, there's no wrong way of doing it.
Oh no,
Um,
everyone's gonna have their own answer, which is just amazing to me. I love that. And let us know in the comments, what would your Sinister Six be for Batman?
yeah, what would you call the team? Because
Ooh.
Sinister Six is already taken. Probably the Arkham Gang. I'm
The
sure that's
Arkham
I'm sure
Gang.
that's I'm sure that's a team already, but no. Thank you for everybody listening. Like, subscribe. Tell us who's on your list. We'll wrap this up here, Quinn. You take her
Yeah,
easy,
great list with
and
eyes.
everyone, we'll see you.
See you next week. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what would be your Sinister Six for Batman. We would love to hear what you have to say. And until next time, we will see you next week on your weekly pop culture apocalypse.